The day before Christmas, Eva and I got divorced, ending our 10-year relationship. After leaving the courthouse, Eva got into the sports car, parked by the road. Without looking back, the young man in the driver's seat smirked mockingly at me, his disdainful gaze, as if looking at a loser. With the roar of the engine, the young man drove off, with Eva leaving me alone on the steps at the entrance, smoking one cigarette after another, as memories gradually surfaced in my mind. Eva and I met in high school. We were assigned to the same class and became desk mates from the very first day we met. I was deeply drawn to her. In high school, Eva dressed in stylish casual clothes, wore her hair in a high ponytail, had delicate features, a sweet smile, and carried a faint scent of gardenia. With such an Eva by my side, it was hard for my younger self not to be smitten. Add to that her good personality, excellent grades, and great conversational skills, and within just a week of knowing her, she became my secret crush. Back then, due to my family background, I was deeply insecure. I came from a poor rural family, tall and skinny, average-looking, introverted, with nothing remarkable about me except my academic performance. The brilliant and beautiful Eva naturally became the object of admiration for every boy in school. Shy and introverted, sitting beside Eva made me feel like a stone next to a flower, not foul-smelling, but utterly out of place. So whenever Eva asked me questions in class, and we leaned close, boys would find excuses after class to drag me into the hallway. Some coaxed, others threatened, all delivering the same message: I wasn't worthy of entertaining any improper thoughts about Eva. I knew I was worthy back then, but every time I returned from these talks, Eva would secretly slip me snacks and huff, telling me fiercely she didn't belong to anyone, wasn't anyone's property. She talked to whomever she pleased, and those obnoxious boys had no say in it. Since Eva girl was so brave, how could a guy fall behind? And then I got beaten up. It was after school on the weekend. After 2 straight weeks of classes, we finally had a day off. Just as I was happily preparing to go home, a group of troublemakers blocked my way. Without a word, they dragged me into a nearby alley. Once in the alley, the leader, a guy with dyed blonde hair, slapped me first, saying it was to wake me up and stop me from having unrealistic fantasies. After the slap dazed me, the blonde guy and his gang explained why they come for me, to warn me not to get too close to Eva, or next time it wouldn't just be a slap. Though I was deeply insecure inside, even a clay figure has its temper. How could I tolerate these hoodlums going so far? I argued with them indignantly, but they wouldn't listen to reason. Seeing me dare to talk back, they surrounded me and started throwing punches and kicks. At first I didn't fight back, but the pain ignited my anger, and soon I was wrestling with that gang of thugs. Though I looked tall, skinny, and frail, having grown up in the countryside doing farm work since childhood, I had strength, so I pinned down that blonde ringleader and pummeled him. The blonde guy didn't expect me to be so fierce, and was momentarily stunned by the beating, screaming in pain. But after all, 2 fists are no match for 4 hands. While I was hitting the blonde guy, the other thugs were hitting me. I got beaten badly, covered in bruises. Just as I was about to be knocked down, a familiar voice suddenly rang out, shouting, "The security guards are coming, run." Hearing about the security guards, both the thugs and I froze on the spot. At that moment, a graceful figure came to my side, took my hand with warm fingers, and pulled me out of the alley before I could even react. By the time I came to my senses, I was already on the street and saw clearly who had saved me: Eva. Eva took me to a small clinic while the doctor applied medicine. She stood beside me with a worried expression, asking if it hurt, bringing me water, and wiping my sweat. Seeing Eva so gentle like this, how could I still care about the pain? I kept insisting I was fine and told her not to worry. After the treatment, as we left the clinic, Eva asked me why those thugs had cornered me. I tried to brush it off, but Eva wasn't having any of it. She kept pressing me with questions. In the end, I had no choice but to tell her the truth. When Eva learned that those troublemakers had targeted me, because of her, she asked me a question: why didn't you agree to their demands back then? Hearing this question, I scratched my head with a smile, unsure how to respond. Seeing my foolish expression, Eva seemed to have guessed the answer and didn't press further. That day we walked side by side along the riverbank. At sunset, our shadows stretching endlessly long. Ding, 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 the alarm clock pulled me out of my reverie. Looking down, I realized it was already 6 o'clock, time to pick Lily up from school. I took a taxi to the school gate. From afar, I could see Lily sitting obediently at the entrance, waiting for me. All the other children had already been picked up, leaving Lily alone on the bench, head bowed, staring at her toes, lost in thought. I walked up to Lily and forced a smile. "Lily, Daddy is here to take you home." Lily looked up, her eyes scanning behind me. When she didn't see the familiar figure she was hoping for, disappointment flashed across her face. "Where's Mommy?" "Mommy," I didn't know how to tell Lily about the divorce, so I just said, "Mommy has things to take care of. Daddy will pick you up from now on." Lily nodded dejectedly and went home with me. Though I called it home, it was actually an apartment I rented outside. The previous house had already been given to Eva. After having dinner with Lily and sending her back to her room to do homework, I cleaned up alone. Just as I was about to rest, a business partner sent me a message: "Ethan, where are you? I just saw Eva drinking with another man at the bar." Accompanying this message was a video filmed in a bar where Eva was drinking with a man who had driven her away in a sports car They were kissing and embracing, looking every bit like seasoned partygoers. The video was short, just 10 seconds long. After watching it, I remained silent for a long time before finally replying to my business partner Ava, and I are already divorced. My partner seemed shocked that Ava and I had actually divorced. After all, everyone knew how deeply I loved her. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say I adored her to the core. He probably thought the chances of the world ending were higher than the odds of us splitting up. Though he was clearly curious about why we had divorced out of consideration for my feelings, he didn't ask. Instead, he comforted me, saying not to take it too hard, that a good man like me was Ava's loss. Am I a good man? Maybe I am. After Lily finished her homework, I coaxed her to sleep and told her we'd visit her grandparents tomorrow. Usually Lily would be thrilled to hear about visiting her grandparents, but not today. Instead, she looked at me with pitiful eyes and asked, will Mommy come with us? Once again, I was stumped by her question, but to reassure Lily, I replied, I'll ask her. After Lily fell asleep, I returned to the living room and stood by the window. After hesitating for a long time, I finally took out my phone and called Ava. I'm sorry, the subscriber you dialed is powered off. Please try again later. Listening to the shutdown prompt, I thought for a moment, then still sent Eva a text message. Lily misses you. Will you come back for Christmas? The message went unanswered for a long time. I imagined Eva must be having fun with her new lover right now, the same Eva who wouldn't even drink alcohol before. I took out my phone again and opened a video, watching it over and over as I stared at the familiar yet strange Eva in the footage. My thoughts drifted back to our graduation year in high school. After the exams, our class organized a gathering, just everyone drinking and singing at a KTV. Neither Eva nor I liked that kind of atmosphere. So we sat in the corner of the private room, watching our classmates showcase their singing voices and gulp down alcohol. After a few bottles of drinks, everyone loosened up their spirits high, some toasting, others confessing their feelings. As the prettiest girl in class, Eva was the secret crush of most boys and naturally became the center of attention in the room. Many guys came to toast Eva. She didn't want to drink, but with so many classmates urging her, she had no choice and ended up downing 2 glasses. Just 2 beers in, Eva's face turned red and her head grew dizzy. Seizing this opportunity, the boys in class who had a crush on her began boldly confessing their feelings. Some sang love songs, others recited love letters, and there were even those who knelt on one knee to present flowers on the spot. This grand confession scene made the girls in class green, with envy egging Eva on relentlessly to get her to say yes. Though already a bit drunk at the time, Eva still had her wits about her and managed to fend off wave after wave of confessions. So many guys confessed their feelings to Eva, yet she didn't accept any of them. The girls in class grew curious about who Eva actually liked, so they started playing truth or dare. Eva, who had never experienced this kind of situation before, quickly lost. She chose truth, and the question was whether there was a boy in class she liked. Hearing the question, Eva blushed shyly, but eventually answered yes, all the while her eyes kept darting glances in my direction. Her obvious behavior was noticed by everyone in class, yet no one teased her. They even deliberately skipped over the topic. No one wanted Eva and me to be together. Maybe they all thought a poor country boy like me wasn't good enough for someone as outstanding and beautiful as Eva. The party ended, and Eva and I didn't want to stay any longer, so we prepared to leave. By then, Eva was already drunk. Seeing this, the boys in our class were all eager to escort her home. After Eva politely declined each of them in turn, she specifically asked me to take her back. Supporting Eva as we left the KTV, we headed in the direction of her home. It wasn't far, and the walk in the cool breeze would help Eva sober up. Along the way, Eva kept initiating conversations with me from our 3 years of high school life, to which universities we wanted to attend in the future, and finally circling back to the confession earlier, she said she didn't like those boys, finding them all too frivolous and restless. She preferred quiet, steady guys. By the time we reached this topic, Eva and I had already arrived at the entrance of her residential complex. Her drunkenness was fading, but her cheeks remained flushed and her eyes carried an unusual depth. Eva asked me, do you know who the boy I liked in class was? I shook my head with a smile. No idea. Hearing my answer, Eva fell silent, her eyes fixed intently on me until I grew visibly uncomfortable. What's wrong? Do I have something on my face? I tried to divert the conversation. Eva completely ignored my attempt to change the subject, looking at me with utmost seriousness as she said, Ethan, it's been 3 years. Are you sure you want to be brave for once? I'm not stupid. Of course I understood what Eva meant, but I was truly torn. I'm just a poor student from the countryside, and everyone thinks Eva and I are mismatched, that I'm not good enough for her, that I can't provide her with a good life. Too many worries weighed on my heart, yet love is something only the brave can hold on to. Seeing me lower my head in silence, Eva didn't press further. She turned and walked alone into the neighborhood. I watched Eva's retreating figure, feeling both sorrowful and regretful. If I had been just a little braver moments ago, would the outcome have been different? Heartbroken and filled with remorse, I turned to leave, but before I'd taken 2 steps, the sound of hurried footsteps echoed behind me, before I could even turn around, someone embraced me from behind. That familiar warmth and the scent of gardenias. It was Eva. "Ethan, I like you. Will you be my boyfriend?" Eva hugged me from behind, shouting with a face full of determination, as if she had thrown all caution to the wind. Listening to Eva's confession, feeling her burning body heat and frantic heartbeat, I could no longer suppress my emotions. I turned around and embraced her tightly on the bustling summer street, bringing a perfect conclusion to our 3 years of unspoken love. Breaking free from the memories, I couldn't help but smoke several cigarettes until my head grew dizzy before finally returning to my room to lie down. Eva still hadn't replied to my messages. The next day, I was awakened by the ringing of my phone. Picking it up, I saw it was Eva's parents calling. As I answered, her mother's voice came through. "Ethan, are you coming back for Christmas this year? Your father and I prepared a feast. He even brought out that good liquor he has been hiding for years, saying he wants to thank you for taking care of Eva all these years." Listening to Eva's mother's warm greeting, I found it hard to breathe, but still steel myself, and said, "Auntie Eva and I got divorced yesterday. I want to be coming back this year. Please take care of yourselves." As soon as I finished speaking, the sound of a porcelain bowl shattering came from the other end. After a moment of silence, her trembling voice finally responded, "Ethan, you and Eva got divorced. How could such a big thing happen without us knowing?" "Auntie, I have something to attend to. I'll hang up now." I didn't know how to explain it to her, so I could only make an excuse and hurriedly end the call. Getting up from bed, I saw a light. Snow falling outside the window under a gloomy sky. Standing by the window, I felt an indescribable sadness in my heart. At first, Eva's parents didn't like me, a poor country boy, believing I couldn't give Eva a happy life. But through increasing interactions, I gradually changed their opinion of me with my actions. The first time I met Eva's parents was during our sophomore winter break. By then, we'd been together for 2 years with a strong relationship and hardly any conflicts. Moreover, Eva's parents were pressuring her to go on blind dates. Determined, Eva decided to reveal our relationship and brought me home that winter break. "Ethan, hurry up. Why are you dragging your feet?" Eva stood at the neighborhood entrance, turning back to call to me. I carried 2 bags of fruit, feeling extremely nervous. Maybe I should buy something else. I still have some money left. How about getting Uncle a bottle of wine? Eva noticed my nervousness, came back, and wrapped her arm around mine to comfort me. That's enough. We're still students. This is already very thoughtful. When you earn money in the future, you can buy my dad wine then. With that, Eva led me back to her house. This was the first time in my life I'd ever met a girlfriend as parents, and my nervousness led to many awkward moments. Fortunately, her parents had been through all before. Once they saw I was a sincere and hardworking young man, their attitude softened, though they still didn't approve of Eva and me dating. They said they'd only agree once I was capable of supporting a family. I was afraid of their disapproval. What scared me was if they gave me no chance at all. So when I learned they wanted me to grow into a man who could shoulder a family's responsibilities, I was actually quite happy. From the day Eva rejected everyone and confessed her feelings to me without hesitation, I began contemplating our future together, determined to give her a happy home and prove her choice wasn't wrong. During the summer after high school graduation, I worked part-time jobs while dating Eva. After earning enough for college tuition, I saved some extra money. This fund allowed me to run small businesses at university, selling snacks and drinks in the dorm. Though the profits were modest, they enabled Eva and me to live comfortably, enjoying weekly dates at the food street to try different flavors and treat ourselves. One vivid memory from that time was a weekend afternoon when Eva and I were returning from a date, walking through the tree-lined campus paths with a face full of happiness. She told me, "Ethan, meeting you is truly the greatest fortune of my life. No matter whether we're poor or wealthy in the future, we must stay together forever and ever." Hearing Eva's words sent a flutter through my heart. After a moment's pause, I nodded earnestly, "Yes, we'll definitely be together forever." The memory froze at that moment when the boy and girl made their promise. Standing by the window, I exhaled deeply, feeling both relieved and as if a part of my life had been torn away, leaving an emptiness in my heart. Not long after, Aunt and Uncle called, anxiously telling me they couldn't reach Eva and pleading with me not to do anything rash. They promised to give me an explanation once they contacted her. Regarding the divorce, Aunt and Uncle never once suspected it was my fault, which showed just how much they trusted me. Yet everything was already beyond repair. The Ethan who deeply loved Eva had died that cold winter night. What remained was merely an empty shell. Lily was already awake at this hour. As I stepped out of my room, I saw her sitting obediently alone on the living room sofa, clumsily trying to tie her hair. I walked over with a smile, intending to help, but froze when I actually tried to do it myself. My hands were just as clumsy. The hairstyle I managed was terribly messy. It used to be Eva who always did Lily's hair, making sure she looked pretty every single day. She would buy Lily new clothes, take her shopping, and out to play, spoiling this well-behaved little girl in every way possible. But then why would Eva, who clearly loved Lily so much, do something like that? She didn't hesitate at all, not even a second thought, before giving me full custody of Lily after getting the house and the car. Eva, what on earth made you willing to abandon this happy home without any hesitation? For the first time in 10 years, I realized I couldn't understand Eva anymore, what she was thinking, what she was doing. She felt like a stranger, as if I'd never known her at all. After doing my best to tie Lily's hair, I started packing to return to my hometown. Lily watched silently for a long time before finally asking in a small voice, "Daddy, is Mommy coming back with us?" Hearing Lily's question, I paused in my packing, slowly stood up, and said, "Let me call and ask again." I didn't want to upset Lily, so I went to the balcony to make the call. Fortunately, the call connected, but before I could even speak, Ava's impatient voice came through. "Ethan, we're divorced, can't you just leave me alone?" Facing this unfamiliar Ava, I suppressed the urge to hang up and said, "Lily says she misses you and wants to spend the holiday with you. Just take her yourself, don't bother me." Ava's attitude didn't soften, even for Lily's sake. "Who is it calling so early in the morning?" A man's voice came through the phone. "Ex-husband, what a nuisance." Eva hung up the phone while talking to the man. Listening to the busy tone on the line, I helplessly put down my phone, unsure how to explain this to Lily later. Just as I was feeling irritated, I turned around to see Lily standing at the doorway with tears in her eyes. "Did Daddy, did Mommy abandon us?" Lily's tears began flowing uncontrollably as soon as she finished speaking, her small hands unable to wipe them all away. My heart ached at the sight. I quickly stepped forward to pick Lily up, wiping her tears while reassuring her that Mommy hadn't abandoned her. But my comfort was of no use. Lily was a very smart child, and she had understood everything from that phone call earlier. In the end, it wasn't until Lily cried herself to sleep that I finally had my hands free to pack my things. Once the luggage was packed, I went out to rent a car. I had just settled Lily into the car seat and hadn't even started the engine when my in-laws called again. "Ethan, we already know what happened. It was Ava who wronged you. She didn't deserve you. We failed as parents." Annie's voice trembled, and by the end, she couldn't hold back her tears. Yet she forced herself to continue. "We don't expect you to forgive Ava, but Lily is innocent. Could you let us see Lily one more time?" Listening to Annie's heartbreaking sobs, I couldn't bring myself to refuse, and eventually agreed. I drove to Uncle and Auntie's place. Before I even arrived, I saw the elderly couple waiting in the cold wind for Lily. The moment my car stopped, Annie couldn't wait to open the door and took the just awakened Lily into her arms. Auntie held Lily, whose face was streaked with tears. With visible distress, her own eyes reddened, as if she might burst into tears at any moment. Uncle, on the other hand, looked utterly dejected after I got out of the car. He handed me a cigarette. We squatted by the roadside, smoking in silence, until the cigarettes burned down to our fingers. Only then did Uncle finally speak up. "Ethan, your uncle and aunt have wronged you. We've learned what happened, and we know you gave her the car and the house while raising Lily all by yourself." With that, Uncle took out a bank card from his pocket and handed it to me. "This is some savings we've accumulated over the years. It's not much, but please take it for now." I hurriedly refused, saying I couldn't accept it, but Uncle forcibly pressed the card into my hand and said solemnly, "This is our compensation to you. For all these years, Ava wronged you. But we can't wrong you too. Don't worry, we won fight for Lily's custody. It's just." At this point, the stern man, who'd been strict all his life, choked up slightly. "We just hope you'll bring Lily to visit us when you have time in the future. Lily's a good child. We can't let her develop psychological issues because of what her mother did." Seeing Uncle's choked up expression, my heart ached too, knowing the elderly couple would feel guilty if I didn't accept the card. I finally had to take it. Since my hometown was quite far away, we needed to set off early. My uncle and aunt understood this. So despite their reluctance, they ultimately sent Lily and me off with heavy hearts. Before we left, my aunt held my hand and told me they would always consider me their son-in-law, that this place was my home, and that I must come back to visit them often. I promised I would. My uncle and aunt had never wronged me after accepting me. They treated me as their own, and I had grown very fond of them. I thought to myself, if not for that incident, we would surely have been an enviable family. On the highway home, watching the snowflakes swirling in the sky, I suddenly remembered the day I married Ava, because it had been snowing heavily that day too. When I married, neither of us had graduated, yet we shouldn't have gotten married so soon. But at that time, due to inadequate safety measures, Eva became pregnant, and we essentially had a shotgun wedding. Fortunately, I'd already earned a decent amount of money from some entrepreneurial projects by then, so I could afford the wedding and the rings, though it wasn't much. Eva's parents didn't look down on it. As I held Eva's hand and walked into the hotel hall, all the guests cheered together. We toasted our parents, then vowed to always love and remain faithful to each other for richer or poorer in sickness, and in health for as long as we both shall live. The wedding went smoothly. When we took the group photo at the end, I held Eva's hand tightly and whispered to her that I would fight tooth and nail to give her a stable and prosperous home. She whispered back that she would always stay by my side. I kept my promise from that day. I worked hard, earned my first pot of gold through my own efforts, and a stroke of luck bought a house and car outright right after graduation, and still had plenty of savings left while others faced unemployment upon graduation. Our lives were blissfully free of worries. Yet while I kept my promise, she did not keep hers. The scene that shattered my life that day remains vivid in my mind. Every time I recall it, my heart bleeds. I returned home, excited, after closing a major deal on a business trip, eager to surprise Eva, only to end up shocked myself. In the bedroom of our home, on the bed, still covered with a bright red wedding quilt from our marriage, lay Eva with a strange man. Eva was startled by my sudden return, flustered as she tried to explain something to me, but in that moment, I was beyond listening to explanations. The stranger leisurely got off the bed to put on his pants, casually, saying to Eva, "Seems the timing is off today, let us go out next time." Seeing the stranger's brazen confidence, my rage boiled over. Without a word, I grabbed him and started punching, ignoring his shouts about how rich and powerful he claimed to be. Under my furious fist, the strange man was soon beaten black and blue, begging for mercy on the ground. Just as I couldn't hold back from delivering a brutal blow, Eva suddenly stepped between us, unable to stop my momentum in time. My fist struck Eva's face, causing immediate swelling and bringing tears of pain to her eyes. Seeing this, I froze momentarily before snapping back to reality with a pang of guilt, moving forward to check on her. But Eva angrily pushed me away, helped the man up from the ground, and left home without looking back. Watching Eva tenderly supporting that man as they walked away, I saw a reflection of the past, when she had supported me to see a doctor after I'd been beaten. The girl who once belonged to me alone now turned against me for another man. I can't fully describe how I felt at that moment. Everything went black before my eyes as I collapsed to the ground, feeling as if the sky had fallen. Slumped against the wall, my limp body recalled all the beautiful moments we shared over the years. It contrasted with the scene that had just shattered my life. I struggled to breathe, my head spun, and tears flowed uncontrollably. I didn't understand why Eva betrayed me. I wanted to confront her face to face. Was I not good enough? Did I not love her? Or had I done something to wrong her? With great effort, I picked up my phone to call Eva. She didn't answer, and after several attempts, she chose to turn it off. Listening to the busy tone, my eyes grew vacant, my heart wrenched in agony. How I survived that shattered night has become somewhat blurry in memory. Yet whenever that scene resurfaces, I still feel suffocated, unable to recover for a long time. After muddling through several days, I reconnected with Eva. There were no accusations, no anger, only profound disappointment. I didn't ask Eva why she betrayed me, and Eva didn't offer any explanation. Either perhaps this was the last bit of unspoken understanding between us. If someone truly wants to betray you, the reasons are endless. After that, I chose to divorce. Eva, it's a line no decent man could cross, no matter how deeply you love a woman. Even if that love has seeped into your bones, when you witness her betrayal with your own eyes, you have to walk away. My happy family, my happy life shattered into pieces. The boy who vowed to fight for a future with his beloved girl also died that late night. The period when I divorced Eva was the hardest phase of my life. That hollow feeling inside, the despair of losing life as purpose, made every step I took in this world unbearably heavy. But time takes everything away, doesn't it? Later, my business grew bigger and bigger, and I became what others saw as a successful man during this time. Many young and beautiful women hinted at interest, but for Lily's peaceful upbringing, I refused them all. It wasn't until Lily became an adult that I married a woman who had pursued me for years. All these years, I never saw Eva again. I heard even uncle and aunt had little contact with her. After the divorce, Eva sold our former house and car and went to live in another city with that man. Was it the happiness she pursued? I didn't know, nor did I want to know anymore. My world is small, consisting only of family and career, with no room for anything else. Life is long. In fact, I saw Eva again once, but that was already 20 years later. While traveling abroad with my second wife and Lily, I spotted Eva cooking noodles at a stall on a food street. By then, she had long lost the beauty of her youth, her face bearing all the marks of life as hardships, exuding an air of mundanity. A teenage boy stood beside her, calling her mom. I saw Eva, and Eva saw me. We both froze for a moment before coming to our senses. Then Eva lowered her head to avoid my gaze, as if she didn't want me to see her ordinary appearance at that moment. I've let go of what happened back then and don't want to disturb Eva's current life. So I turned to leave, but just then Eva suddenly called out to me, saying she had something to tell me. After a moment of silence, I finally agreed and let Lily and her new mother go wait for me elsewhere first. Perhaps because Eva left when Lily was still young, Lily didn't recognize her now, thinking she was just an old classmate of mine, and walked away without a second thought. When Lily left, Eva watched her retreating figure, her words caught in her throat, eyes brimming with guilt. It was a coastal city. Eva and I walked side by side along the shore, neither of us speaking first, just like when we used to stroll by the river in our youth. Only when I grew tired and stopped walking did Eva finally break the silence. She told me about her life, all these years, how she and that man came to this unfamiliar city to seek their fortune, their hopeful dreams gradually crushed by harsh reality. At first, that man treated her really well, so well that she almost believed she'd found her destined prince. But as time passed, perhaps because of life's pressures, or perhaps out of sheer boredom, he began to neglect her and started seeing other women. Eva said she had actually regretted her choices by then, but there was no turning back. She was already pregnant with that man's child, too ashamed to return home and face her parents or me. She gritted her teeth and endured in that unfamiliar city. Not long after the child was born, the man was imprisoned for criminal activities and remains incarcerated to this day. She single-handedly raised the child through hardship, enduring countless scornful looks as a mother and child alone in a strange city, yet she persevered through it all, and these years of suffering made her realize how naive she had been. It was after school on a weekend. After 2 straight weeks of classes, we finally had a day off. Just as I was happily preparing to go home, a group of troublemakers blocked my path. Without a word, they dragged me into a nearby alley. After the divorce, she left with that man for a distant land, thinking she could start a new life full of passion and freedom. Little did she know she would end up disgraced and stranded in a foreign place. When Eva spoke to me, I listened quietly, just like in our youth when she was the talkative one and I was the introvert. After recounting the experiences of these years, she solemnly apologized to me. Having done all this, Eva suddenly fixed her gaze on me, just like that summer day when she stared at me downstairs in the neighborhood. She asked me a question: Ethan, what if we hadn't gotten divorced back then? Hearing Eva's question, I froze, coming back to my senses. I turned to look at the distant sea, feeling the salty sea breeze. I took a deep breath and smiled with relief. Eva, but there are no what-ifs in this world. The end.